Previously on Investigating Grace.
Listen, Detective, I know I may sound like a crazy person, but I really do have superpowers. I have mind powers and can change a person's heart. I also have the power of invisibility. This body of mine, it isn't the real me. It's just a shell of who I am. I know I may look like I'm only 26 or so, but I've been around since before the world was even created.
You really expect me to believe you, Grace?
Not yet. I decided to show you my identity in human form because I really think people need to understand what I do to help in this world. I mean, that's what it's all about, you know? Helping people see me, showing them that I'm real. Why else would I risk getting arrested and possibly committed to a mental institution? I didn't ask for this assignment. It was given to me. I am so misunderstood by people. You know, sometimes people need me more than they need punishment. I want Lisa to change because she knows that a new start is a real gift. Now, I can't control her, but I'm patient with her and continue to support her even when she thinks she can live this life alone. She needs me more than she knows, and I'm okay with that, for now.
It just doesn't seem fair, actually. I mean, she is a prostitute. She wears that label well. She's proud of it. I don't frankly believe she deserves any.
When people admit that they need me because they can't be good on their own, it becomes about me and not them. I defend them for the rest of their life. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just my nature.
Well, you look like you got a little more sleep last night.
Actually, I did. The lady in the cell next to me finally stopped talking in her sleep.
Well, Grace, this is your last chance to prove you don't need to spend any more time in jail. And I sure don't want to put you in a mental institution.
I trust you'll make the right decision.
Well, now, so far you've told me about 3 other criminals, but I'm really interested to hear about Kyle, the snitch.
Let me tell you, Detective, this guy's story is unbelievable. He was a drug addict and had so many connections in the drug world. He got arrested and cleaned up his act in prison. When he was released, and after a few years of living sober, he actually went back to the police academy and joined the police force.
Are you kidding me?
Not at all. They sent him back into the drug world as an undercover cop so they could get information on how to take down the lead guy in the drug supply. At first, he was amazing. He was responsible for so many drug busts, and he started to set all kinds of records. Then, in a moment of weakness, he went back to his old lifestyle and started doing drugs again and feeding bad intel into his own police department.
Well, this, it's not the only time a crooked cop has been caught.
It's hard to believe that after being introduced to me the first time, how quickly he forgot how much he needed me. I saved his life once, and then he started to take me for granted. He fell into the trap that so many people do. He started to believe that he was strong enough on his own to resist the temptation, and that's when he fell. And boy, did he fall hard. I can remember on 3 different occasions when he was directly asked by his boss if he was still a part of their team, and he said yes. And in fact, he was actually helping the drug dealers.
This guy makes me sick. There is nothing I cannot stand more than a backstabbing snitch. I cannot believe the judge did not give him life in prison for all the lives he destroyed. I'm really curious to hear, what did you do this time? No, wait a minute. Before I even ask that, let me guess. You told him another Bible story.
You got it. I'm sure you've heard of the guy Peter. He wasn't a drug dealer. He was a fisherman. Jesus called him out of his old life to start a new one, fishing for men.
That's weird. What does that mean?
You know, caring more about people than fish. He followed Jesus for 3 years. He performed miracles and preached in front of thousands of people. He suffered in prison for Jesus. Sort of like me. He traveled miles to spread the good news of Jesus.
Well, okay, but what does this have to do with our snitch?
Well, Jesus was on his way to being crucified. And in a moment of weakness, or I guess you could say 3 moments of weakness, Peter denied being a Jesus follower. He was asked point blank 3 times if he followed Jesus, and he said no 3 times. To make matters worse, Peter told Jesus before the deniers that he would never deny him, that he would even die for him.
And what happened next?
Well, Jesus died, and Peter gets discouraged. Instead of continuing in his new life, he went back to his old life of being a fisherman. He spent all night trying to catch fish and came up with nothing. When he was finished, he He found Jesus on the shore with fish already on the fire, and he asked him to come and sit down with him.
That sounds way too familiar.
Listen to this. Jesus asked Peter 3 times if he loves him, and 3 times he says yes. 3 denials, 3 questions. This is Jesus' way of letting Peter know that things are going to be okay.
So what does this have to do with you?
Can't believe you're asking me that again. I was there when Peter accepted the invitation to follow Jesus. That's grace. That's me. I was there when Peter preached and performed miracles. That's grace. That's me. I was there when Peter suffered in prison for Jesus. That's grace. That's me. I was there when Peter denied Jesus. That's grace. That's me. I was there on the shore during breakfast. That's grace. That's me.
I can see what you're saying. Kyle needed grace to get off drugs. He needed grace to join the police department. He needed grace to resist the temptation to get back on drugs. And he needs grace now to get back on the right track. It's like you're always there. It's when people ignore you that they get into trouble. It's like your saving grace.
Detective, that's one of the best things you said during this entire investigation. People need me every day in every circumstance.
You know, I'm starting to believe that you actually make this world a better place. Really. I mean, I'm still not sure whether or not I'm ready to accept you for who you were saying for myself, but I am going to release you. I want us to sign the release orders right now. You know, Grace, you are surprising. You're rescuing, you're giving, and it sounds like you've changed the lives of many.
Thank you, Detective, for at least giving me the benefit of the doubt. I hope that one day you will truly get to know God's grace, that you'll get to know me for who I really am.
Well, perhaps I will. You're free to go.